All right, part 2. Aren't you excited to see what happens? So, important thing to mention, starting off the bat, I score 3 primary objectives at the start of turn 3. So 4 points, 8 points, 12 points for primary objectives, plus I guard this one and guard this one. All right, so my turn 3, I got extend battle lines and secure no man's land. I thought this was really good for me. Basically, extend battle lines, I want to control my own objective and 1 no man's land objective, and secure no man's land, I want to control 2 no man's land objectives. So first thing I do, Rangers just fall back a little bit here. His lieutenant with combi weapon pushes up here to try to block the Wraith Guard from not being able to fall back, which is really smart. Luckily, I was able to just wiggle the Wraith Guard just enough that they could fall out of engagement range here and still stay out of engagement range there. Basically, it looked something like that. The Wave Serpent stayed here because it was engagement range there, so I didn't want to make a fallback move with him. Oh, so by the way, Wraith Guard, I used Feigned Retreat, which is an Eldar 1 CP stratagem, which allows them to still shoot after they fall back. Wraith Lord adjusted out here a little bit. All right, so the Autarch Wayleaper came up here to try to shoot his Dragon Fusion gun in Melta range at Sicarius, and the Farseer fell back, but then Sicarius used his reaction move and tucked behind the wall, which sucked. Jester stayed there. Swooping Hawks moved up to shoot Sicarius if they wanted to. Fire Prism moved out here to get a shot down on the Eradicators. And this one moved down here so he could shoot the Eradicators by drawing line of sight through that one. At the end of my movement phase, Alex used Rapid Ingress for 1 CP so that his Jump Pack Intercessors and Chaplain with Jetpack came right in here, carefully staying out of range of my Death Jester. So in the shooting phase, both of my Fire Prisms unloaded their weapons with the heavy-powered profile on the Eradicators and Cargill. My Wraith Lord shot his Bright Lance on the Eradicators and Cargill. So all between that, we killed the 2 Victrix Honor Guard and 1, 2, 3 Eradicators, leaving 3 Eradicators left. The Wraith Lord shot his Flamers at Sicarius, and the Hawks unloaded everything on Sicarius, I think, but yet it only put 2 damage on him. Unfortunately, the Death Jester did not accomplish anything. I think I shot the Eradicators with him, but his weapon is not nearly as good against 6 toughness Eradicators as they are against 4 toughness Jump Pack, or Intercessors. So the Wave Serpent did successfully kill the last aggressor with his Bright Lance. He might have killed 1 Incursor with his Shuriken Cannon, if I remember correctly. The Wraith Guard absolutely obliterated the Inceptors. Might have been a little bit overkill, but it's only 5 dice, and if they roll bad on their damage roll, you might need 2 to kill 1. Inceptors. Yes, Inceptors. Rangers did not accomplish anything, I believe. So, in the charge phase, the Wraith Guard charged the Lieutenant with combi weapon. You'd think they have pretty reasonable attack, but so we've got 2 damage on a Wraith Guard. They only put 1 little measly wound on the Lieutenant with combi weapon. The Wave Serpent put 1 little measly damage on an Incursor, and an Incursor put 1 little measly damage back on the Wave Serpent. Over here, I was really tempted to charge the Autarch into Sicarius. I think I should have after all, but I didn't. I just let him be. I also was thinking about the Wraith Lord charging Sicarius, but I really got to keep that point, especially with Extend Battle Lines and Secure No Man's Land. I'm like, I should still have 2 No Man's Land objectives. So my round 3 is quite successful. I score 5 points for Extend Battle Lines, 5 points for Secure No Man's, and I got 12 points for primaries, and I will get the guard objective here, but I will not get this one. Let's watch what Alex's turn does. So beginning of Alex's turn, he uses the... Oh, this guy did pile in here, so all these guys are in engagement range. Alex uses the doctrine, the Assault Doctrine, which lets him advance and still shoot, but these Blade Guard need to fall back. So he uses 1 CPE to change that unit specifically to have the doctrine that lets them fall back and still shoot and charge. So basically we do a big shuffle here. These guys, Wraithguard's over here. These guys do a big old little shuffle about to there. The Apothecary, who's by himself now, joins him. The Incursors do a regular fallback move just to get a little bit on the point. So the Eradicators and Calgar, with their Assault Doctrine, advance up this way. But as they start their move, the Wraith Lord overwatches them. With his Flamers and his Bright Lances, he pops one and does 1 damage to another. So that was a nice little bonus for me. Now, the Jump Pack Intercessors got some ridiculous 6 on their advance and just came in and surrounded my Autarch. I'm not sure exactly if Alex knew exactly what he was going to do yet. Yeah, he did something like this on the move, giving him a lot of options to shoot the Autarch, shoot the Farseer, charge either of them, and also shoot the Death Jester who's up on top. Alright, so now let's cut to a little live video I took to see what happens in the shooting phase. The Eradicators shot the Wave Serpent, which blew up and deadly demised, which is awesome. Did 3 damage to a Wraithguard, so it killed a Wraithguard. 1 rolls over. 1 damage to Lieutenant with combi weapons. 3 damage to a Blade Guard, so it killed 1 and rolled over. Killed 1 Incursor, and did 1 damage to this lone Apothecary. Then Alex shot the pistols of these guys. They were just able to shoot him and killed 1 Ranger. Damn it, I forgot to say Alex did score 1 primary point because he had this objective here, so that's 4 points, and he will successfully guard that one as well. Alright, next up, one thing I was happy about, all these Intercessors threw a grenade at the Farseer with 1 CP and only did 1 damage, so that took him up to 3. Oh, I got ahead of myself. I started getting into the shooting phase before the movement phase was done. The Apothecary came down here. Company Heroes came down here. On the end of my turn, the Scouts popped out onto Deep Strike and came back in over here. They just came back in from regular reserves, 9 inches from the edge of the battlefield, 6 inches from the edge of the battlefield. So, long story short, 2 of these guys could shoot, these guys could shoot, these guys could shoot. That kills all but 1 of the Hawks. And Sicarius moved in the movement phase up to the first floor of this building. He's going to chase down the Death Jester. Alright, so I forget exactly if it was in the it was all in the shooting phase. These Intercessors unloaded all their shit in the Autarch, which was a really good decision because he has fights first. So they killed him. No, I know what it was. They did a couple shots, but then they charged into the Autarch, and they have a special ability that they can deal mortal wounds on the charge. Oh, I wonder if we forgot something. The Jump Pack Intercessors do mortal wounds on the charge. The Chaplain has a similar ability, but it does mortal wounds when it's selected to fight. That shouldn't have triggered yet. The Autarch should have fought first. Who knows? That's the joy about Warhammer. You always realize you did something wrong. Okay, Sicarius could shoot his pistol at the Farseer, and the Farseer got 4 saves, which is amazing. He was like shooting through a little crack, and the Farseer saved them all. But then Sicarius could charge the Death Jester and killed the Death Jester in melee. Autarch's dead. Death Jester's dead. Now, over here in the charge... Okay, so we already knew the Wave Serpent blew up from the Eradicators. All these Blade Guard charge the Wraith Guard. Long story short, they kill all 4 Wraith Guard, which I was really disappointed in. The Spirit Seer was able to kill the Lieutenant, do 1 more damage to the Lieutenant with combi weapon, but the Lieutenant with combi weapon could then kill the Spirit Seer. So Wraith Guard are completely dead. That was disappointing. Yeah, so that's how that looks. He gets on the point. They get on the point. These guys all charge in here, kill this last Hawk. So what does that mean for Alex? He had Bring It Down, killed the Wave Serpent, killed the Spirit Seer, killed the Autarch, and killed the Death Jester. So 3 assassinations. So it's at the end of his turn I scored 2 for guard. I was able to keep this one. So that's where I get the 12 for primary plus 2 for guard. And I'm not looking like I've got a very big army left. So at the end of round 3, it's something like 53 points for myself and 46 for Alex, counting the battle ready. And since he's behind in points, that means he gets to pick a secret mission, which he did, especially since he hasn't scored very many primary points anyways at this point, only 6. Not sacrificing much to pick a secret mission. So, start of my turn, I get 1 primary. I pull Marked for Death and Defend Stronghold. So he chooses the Company of Heroes, the Eradicators and Calgar, and the Blade Guard Vets as the Marked for Death. I have to kill one of them in order to score points. And Defend Stronghold, I just need to hold this through the end of his turn. So I only get those 4 points for this objective. And I don't have much movement I can do here. My Wraithlord tiptoes right over here so he can get a shot down this way. And now I'm like, all right, time to bring the fire prisms out. If they're ever going to do anything, it better be now. So he moves up there. He moves like here. So shooting phase, my rangers don't do anything successfully. The fire prism here kills 3 jump pack marines, which is great. The Farseer does 2 damage to Sicarius, so he's up to 4. The Wraithlord with his Bright Lance kills one of these company hero guys. This fire prism completely whiffs. I forget if he was shooting. All right, now I'm hoping that my Farseer with Fights First can do 1 more damage to Sicarius. He's got anti-infantry 2+ for the wound roll, but Sicarius has a 2-up save. He charges into here. He charges into both of these guys, uses Tank Shock, and kills 1 more of the Ancient Veterans. That's nice. I might at this point literally charge with the Rangers. I think I did, just for the memes. So in the fight phase, unfortunately, I did not able to kill Sicarius. I did 1 damage to one of these aggressors. Jump pack intercessors. I killed this apothecary. He probably did a couple damage back to here. I think maybe 2 or 4. Oh yeah, I just checked. It looks like it was 4. In combat, he killed the Farseer, who has the Phoenix Gem on him. A 35-point enhancement lets him come back at full strength. And, of course, they die when he fights back. All right, so Alex's turn 4. He scores a primary 4 points there. And, oh, I forget. I don't have this looking quite right. They're on the point, but he has more OC than me. So he scores that primary 4 points. This primary is 4 points. He will get 1 guard, so that's 10. Scouts move up just to get more guys on the point. These guys fell back and used their jetpacks to fly right over top. And I decided to overwatch them. That was a bad move. I should have overwatched when the Eradicators and Calgar came this way because he has torrent weapons. But I did kill one. And Cursors basically move up here to try to shoot that. Eradicators and Calgar move all the way up here. He must have used 1 CP to give these guys the fallback and shoot and charge move. Alright, so I think on Alex's move phase, Company of Heroes also fell back. Like down here. I don't know how they fell back and they fell back. Oh yeah, because their leader, they can always fall back and charge. That's right. The scouts on the shooting phase threw a grenade at this fire prism, which took it up to 4. The Eradicators 1 hit connected, and it did D6 plus 2, and he rolled the 6, even though the Wraithlord was fortunate. So he got 8 damage smacked on him. That sucked. I was really hoping... Oh, that could have been the game right there now that I think about it. Oh, shoot, I kind of gave it away, but... The scouts then shot, and they did 1 more damage to this fire prism. The Incursors missed on their shot against the Wraithlord. Sicarius missed with his pistol shot against the Farseer. That Farseer is tanky, I have to say that. Now the charge phase. Calgar himself charges right into the Wraithlord and finishes him off with the Gauntlets of Ultramar. He doesn't even get to fight back with his giant glaive. Too bad, so sad. Okay, also in the charge phase, Alex charges back into the fire prism with him, and both the jump pack intercessor and the chaplain have abilities that do mortal wounds. 1 in the charge phase, 1 in the fight phase, gets him up to 8. I believe that's did it. Maybe one of these guys did some of this damage or something like that, but somehow he ended up with 8 damage on him. So, turn 4, He kills a Wraithlord for Bring It Down. He killed Illic Nightspear on my previous turn 4, so that's why that counts. And he killed the Farseer once, which counts as an assassinate, even though he came back to life. Turn 5, not looking good for me. All right, because it was getting late at night at this point, I don't have the best notes from round 5. But basically, here's everything that happened. First of all, I didn't do this right away, but I should have done it. I rolled a battle shock test for this guy, and he failed it. So he's not going to be able to control this objective. I basically moved these guys out somehow, and again, I don't know how I did a fallback. Like, were these guys not there? It's all blurry. I do manage to kill Calgar and the Eradicators, which is pretty amazing, with shots from these and these, I think. So I get marked for death. And whether or not Alex could move these incursors onto this point, we had some debate about it, but it doesn't matter. Either way, Alex controls this point, and this point because I failed the battle shock test. By now, the Farseer's dead. One of these intercessors is dead. Alex controls 3 points outside of his deployment zone, which at the end of the game accomplishes his secret mission for an extra 20 points. So it got really sloppy there at the end, 65 to 78. We literally forgot that it was round 5, and so we sort of had to like play it, like talk it out, but I don't think there was any way I can keep him from getting the secret objective because failing this one freaking battle shock. Like, maybe I could have done a command reroll on the battle shock test, but we were like retroactively doing it. I don't remember. And oh, so many blunders and mistakes. And so what made me think back the end of round 2 that I could win this? I think I assumed I could hold this point. Like, I was able to wreck all the Eradicators in Calgar, so I thought I could hold this point by moving down a little bit this way, but those 2 Eradicators in Calgar still got them. And I didn't think that all these company heroes would be able to get all the way into here and make a charge against these Hawks. Partly, that's because I moved them out to try to shoot Captain Sicarius when he was there. So, I was just deceived. And I was surprised how quickly the Wraith Guard melted the Blade Guard. I probably shouldn't have been surprised by that. I got outplayed. Spread too thin is what it was. I probably should have baited him to bring all these guys up here, but not dumped my Wraith Guard and Fuegan out and instead like ran back. Just kept them alive and focused just on these 2 objectives. So I'm playing Alex again tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. Expect another battle report.